Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some canning. I have a lot of potatoes that I need to get through. I actually have a potato drawer that I keep and some of them are going bad and look a little wrinkled, so it's time to use them up. I also got some beautiful leeks at the farmer's market over the weekend, 5 of them to be exact, for $1 a piece. Can you believe that? So I grabbed 5 and I'm going to be making some potato leek soup. I tried potato leek soup last year and husband and I were both delightfully surprised at how delicious it was. So I'm going to do some this year, using up a bunch of those potatoes. I'm going to can it up, put it on the shelf, and I'm going to bring you along with me. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to do it. First thing I got going on here is these were super long, so I tore these off the top of the leeks and got them in my dehydrator for some onion powder, and then I just have them soaking in water. I'm actually going to end up cutting and slicing these up to make sure all that dirt comes out, because leeks are notorious for having tons of dirt in them once you start peeling them. So we're going to get all that dirt out and get that cut up. And then here's the potatoes I was talking about from my potato drawer. Some of them you can see are super soft. For canning, it's ideal to use yellow or red potatoes, but Idaho potatoes are also fine. They're just a little more starchy, so you have to soak them a bit, and I have a lot of Idahos right now. So I'm just going to be doing a smorgasbord of all of them, and we'll get these all peeled. See, that one's no good. When it's squishy, it's no good. And that's what's been smelling up my kitchen. I got some bad potatoes in here. Like some of these you can take off some of the bad, because like this is still perfectly good potatoes, so I kind of soaked this, rinsed it, squeezed out the bad, and I'm going to cut around that as well and then still use the rest of that potato. So that's what I am going to be working on, and I'll bring it back when it's all done. Here all I'm doing is sorting through the potatoes that I pulled out of my drawer. Some of them are a little wrinkly and definitely need to get used up, so I'm putting those in the sink with the leeks. That way I know I to use those up. The other ones, those are still pretty firm and I think are going to last a little while longer. So I'm just making sure I give everything a good scrub from being together with a couple of the rotten ones. And just sorting them all, figuring out what I want to use for today and then what I'm going to sort for tomorrow. Every single part of the leek has flavor in it. So that's why I'm also utilizing the greens. I'm just gonna cut these into slivers. This recipe is more of a base, and then you'll finish it kind of soup, because you're gonna have, like, it'd be good to add cream. See, look in there, one of the rings in there, you can see all that dirt. So it's best just to take it apart, disassemble. Sitting right there, see all that dirt. Then after you heat this soup up is when you add the cream, and you can blend it or you can just leave it as is. I don't know if you can regrow a leek or not. I know you can regrow green onions. I just got these pretty little rings. Oh, not that in. I will save this for my stock making bag that I keep in my freezer. All right, leeks, check. Now moving on to peeling all of these potatoes. I'm gonna cut each potato. It's gonna do like bite size. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you want them to roughly be the same size so they'll cook the same, but it doesn't have to be pretty, because you're going to end up pureeing this soup anyway. all my leeks and potatoes are cut up and the potatoes are soaking in water. Leeks are just chilling. I got my jars all cleaned. I'm gonna do 7 quarts and see how much I have. If I need to break out my second canner, I will. And then I also have some homemade turkey stock and chicken stock. I'm gonna heat up maybe 5 quarts for the 7 quarts, and we'll see how I get. If I have some extra, I can use it to make rice or something later, but I don't want to have to try and heat it up another time. So let's get that heated up and we'll start assembling, and we'll throw this together real quick. All right, let's do 4 quarts. I got 3 turkey and a chicken in here, and we'll see how many that'll get us. Alrighty, I'm gonna do the leeks first. Fill it up about halfway. Maybe about 2 cups. 2 cups per quart. Okay. I'll do about 1.5 cups of potatoes. That pretty full. I'm gonna put 1 bay leaf per jar for some extra seasoning and flavor. And I'm gonna do a teaspoon of salt. This is kosher salt. Potatoes love salt, and my chicken stock and turkey stock have no salt in them, so they're going to need that salt. And that's all I'm gonna put in it for now until our chicken stock's up. So we're just gonna get these filled up. Just to show you, this is all the leeks and the potatoes I have left. I can cut up more potatoes. I didn't want too many, so I didn't cut up all the ones that are in the sink. I'll probably get me a couple more quarts, or I can make a couple of pints with this. Alrighty, I got my turkey stock all heated up. Tell you guys, it smells an awfully lot like Thanksgiving in here. So we're just filling it up to 1-inch headspace, and then we will debubble. Alright, now time to debubble. I just use a citrus peeler here. See all those bubbles coming up? So I'm gonna make sure you get them all out. Alright, a little more broth anywhere it needs some to make that 1-inch head mark. I only got a little bit of broth left too, so 4 quarts were perfect for 7 quarts of soup. And then I got a little bit of white vinegar here. Just gonna dip my towel in there, wipe these rims really good. You want to do this to make sure there's no grease built up on there, especially if you're using chicken stock. If you notice, mine had a layer of fat on the top of it because fat is flavor. And that's exactly why I leave it in there when I can it, because it adds a bunch of extra flavor, but it can cause a pickle when you're trying to can something, and it can make your seal not stick. So make sure you get it real good with vinegar. And then we're gonna put our lids. I do like to reuse my lids. I check to make sure that they're all in good condition. If you guys don't like reusing your lids, then of course get a new lid. Like new lid, like this looks fine to me, and it had my baked banana bread in it, you know. So it wasn't, this one wasn't even pressure canned, really. Okay. All right, fingertip tight and into the canner. Lid's on. Now we just need to wait for it to vent, and that's when steam comes out of the vent for 10 minutes. It kind of helps push out all that air so it can come to pressure. So we're gonna let it get to that point where it's venting, and then we're gonna put our weight on it. And since these are quarts, we're gonna time this for 75 minutes. And during that process, that'll actually cook the potatoes, infuse it with that broth and that leeks, and make all that delicious flavor. So we're gonna let this come up to temp and start venting, and I'll bring it back when we get to that point. All right, guys, you see that steady stream of steam? Wow, say that 3 times, yeah? That's when we're gonna set our timer for 10 minutes, because we gotta let it vent. And then after the 10 minutes, we'll put on our weight. All right, our timer just went off, so we are going to go ahead, well, ever so gently put the weight on there like that. And then as soon as that starts rocking, I'm gonna turn the heat down from high, probably down to like 7, 6.5 here, and I'll be checking it, because you just want it to kind of like jiggle, 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 jiggle. You don't want it, you know, all the time. So we're just gonna let that sit, and as soon as it starts rocking, I'm setting my 75-minute timer. And then I got some pints here. I'm gonna try and see if I can get some pints just to use up all of my ingredients. Alright, this is what I was talking about by rocking. Now this is still rocking too fast, but it just started. So first thing I'm going to do is come over here and set my 75-minute timer, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes for those who can't math. And then turn this down about right there, just so it can settle down a bit. And then I will bring it back when she's all done. Alright, my timer for my quarts is going off. So at this point, all we're going to do is shut her off and let her cool down all the way. This pin will drop whenever all the pressure is out, and then that's when you can take off your weight and then crack it just a little bit to let her cool. I got some pints going in here. I was able to get 6 pints. So that's going. And now we're waiting. Well guys, my potato leek soup just came out of the canner. It's a bubbling away. It's super dark just because my broth is kind of dark, so it's naturally got the same color as it. But those potatoes look cooked. Those leeks, they look nice and tender. They're still boiling, so I'm just gonna let them sit probably for like 24 hours. And then you're gonna take the rings off, wash them really good, label them, get them on your shelf. These look fantastic. Can't wait to give it a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Mama Bairds.